Hi everyone, so we're about to get started on the Tiguan 2-liter TSI decarb operation. So we're gonna have to remove the intake manifold. We will see how that goes. I have everything ready here. Anything from the instructions, obviously, that I pulled from the internet. All the tools that we need. So we'll need the slow adapter, which is not mandatory, but it's certainly going to help, especially if you're using an air compressor and some crushed walnut as a way to remove the deposit of carbon, which is my approach. So in order to do this, I've got this box of walnut shell, 18 to 40 grit, which I'm gonna put in a special kit that will allow me to use my air compressor to remove the carbon. Right, so I'll show this to you when I get to that point. Your regular tools, right, adapters, anything that you may need here. What you need will be a T20 Torx, T30 Torx. You'll need a 17 mil bit. I'll show you how to do all this. You'll need a 7 mil hex, and I've got some hex bits here. I've got some more actually in the back. You'll need a 24 mil bit. That's to adjust the top dead center point on the engine, because you want to make sure obviously your valves are closed, right, when you perform the cleanup. Then I have my drill, I have some gloves, I have some additional tools here in case I need, but I will do the full summary at the end to show you what I ultimately did need. I got some clamps as well to remove the hose clamps, right, so these come pretty handy. A little pick tool to loosen the hoses, screwdrivers, pliers, and a whole bunch of things as well here. But normally you don't need actually that many tools. It is not an easy operation, right? So make sure you get ready. If you don't feel comfortable, don't do it. There are also some things that need to be done underneath the car. So again, not the easiest way to do it. Put the car on ramps perhaps if you can, that's easier. Yeah, so that's it, right? Making the video, hoping it's gonna help you if you are going down that path. I'll see how that goes for me. It's a bit more work than what I usually do, but it seems to be doable for me. So let's get started. All right, so my battery is charging right now because it was a little low, so I'm gonna take out the cover was here. I'm gonna take it out. We're gonna start by taking out the airbox. So nothing too complex here. There you go. Right at the bottom there's one here. There's another one in that corner, which is a 5mm bit this time. It's not a hex. So it's not Allen, I'm sorry. So we're gonna take those out, then disconnect the main air hose from here. Well, actually, we'll disconnect from over there. Will be easier. We'll take the whole assembly out, remove the mass airflow sensor, and we'll start with this operation here. So not too complex. You can skip the parts that you think you know about already. Right, so I got these bits here that are really handy, and an extension. Right, next one here is down here. That's 10, by the way. So it's pretty tight. One of these magnet tools, if you have one, will help you as well. This one is actually held in place. The other one that was just loosened with the 5mm. So we're gonna leave that one in place. There's another screw actually right there that I missed, which is right in here. So under the main cable, it looks like there's a ground that comes out of the battery compartment. Didn't see it, so I'm gonna try to remove that. And same thing, it's a 10 mil. Gonna have to push the wiring out of the way a little bit. Okay, well, we'll leave it like that. It's gonna come with the airbox when we pull it out. Alright, so we'll remove the clamp. Gonna remove the mass airflow sensor. Always careful with these clips because they tend to break. Okay, so you use a screwdriver and you pry off the little tab that's at the top. Don't pry too hard because it could break, right? And then it's gonna come off. Then pliers. Regular adjustable pliers can do the job for this as we work on the clamp over there. Gotta take the clamp and move it out of the way. Disconnect the hose. It's done. Take your tools out. Don't want your tools start falling into the engine. It's not fun. And the airbox should come out. Looks like it's actually under the battery compartment. Did not anticipate that. It's not coming off. So on that end there's a rubber piece that's at the bottom here. And for some odd reason, yeah, we can see right here. And I'm having difficulty taking it out. So it's just a clip really, which means the two 10mm bolts that are removed really didn't have to be removed. Now, it's good, it's a learning process, so that way you don't have to do the same mistakes as I do. I'll take that out, pop this out, and there we go. The whole thing should come off. Now, there's a pipe down there that's in the way, which is attached to the cooling system. It's running right on top of the airbox. I'll try to take this out if I can. You can see here. There you go. Airbox is out. I'm gonna have to replace the air filter anyways. I'll set that aside. Want a lot more space now to work in around here, which is good. And we're gonna take that piece out as well. Right, Torx. These screws, right? Very easy to remove. Can't. Yeah, there we go. Not sure what size that is. Could be Torx. I'll take a look actually. So again, make sure the screws don't fall down in the engine compartment because that will just add set that aside. Okay, that was the little cover that was on top, right? That's just clipped, easy to remove. Now we have some space to work on here. Check the rad ventilators, they spin, which is good, they're not seized. Again, it's an old car, so you never know. Alright, Now, engine cover. I already unclipped it, but it's just clipped on top, right? So easy to remove. Then I'm gonna do a quick dedusting, and that's because we will be working on the engine. So we want to make sure that whatever we're loosening up in terms of debris and different things is not actually gonna get into the engine compartment. Alright, so we're gonna put a piece of rag in the air intake here just to make sure there's nothing that gets in there. The clamp is secure, so we'll make sure it's not damaging the hose, so I'm gonna take it out altogether. Next, we're gonna have to disconnect the fuel line that's over there. So it runs on top. That's the metallic line that you see there, and it actually connects to the rail, the main rail for fuel. There's a lot of things to remove here. So I'm gonna remove the breather hose right here. So it's clipped on it. Press on both sides of the connector, top and bottom, and you pull it out. Watching your fingers, obviously. I'm gonna take it out on that side too, that way it's out of the way. Okay, it's oily, could be oily, so set it aside. Now we're gonna take out the low pressure fuel hose line. So two clamps, one here, one there. Note that you don't have to take it out, but it kind of runs on top of the manifold, so you might as well remove it. It's not really long. Could actually be some fuel that's gonna leak out, so use a rag before you actually remove the clamps. Again, it's these little small clamps. A pair of pliers normally works well for that. Alright, so we got the clamp off its position. Gonna take the other clamp off too. Simply because this has been connected for a long time, and the rubber is probably stuck to the nozzle, to the nipple, and this is where you would use one of these little pointy tools, right, with a curved tip. Right. Can't quite see it, can't focus, but you would see what I'm referring to. There, I mean, it's not completely stuck to it, so might get lucky. Torx 30. Now the clamp here needs to come off. Listen here, I might loosen everything that's in this area because everything will have to come off. There you go. The little tab at the very bottom here, you just lift up with a small screwdriver. Could be the same on that sensor here that I couldn't remove earlier. So this is gonna come off with the rest here, although I will disconnect it here. Disconnect it from the little sleeve so that this guy is not preventing us from removing the fuel line. Another clamp here. Keep this guy in a high point, ideally, so it doesn't leak. This is plastic. They seem to all be the same. Yep, all the same. That's what they look like. Okay, so keep them aside, obviously. There will be more of those. There's a whole bunch of them to remove. Now the line is loose, what I will do is try to just spin it otherwise. There's still fuel in there. I was hoping this would actually, oh there we go, it did get loose. Okay, and we're gonna just leave it there for now. Okay, as long as it's out of the way, it should be fine. This is the cam position sensor, by the way, so just as a side note. We don't have to take it out, just disconnect it for now. And we're going to continue and remove, everything has to be removed here. I'll take that one out, and we'll clamp here. Stuck, which is good. Okay. Put that to the side. Then remove the bracket here, which I believe is a 10. I'm not sure. Another one of the plastic screws, same as the other ones. No, actually, this one is longer. It's longer Torx. And that attaches the bracket here. Another screw under there that attaches the mounting bracket to the intake. It is the same as Torx again. Just difficult to get to. It's right underneath the manifold. So right vertically from there, under, you follow these hoses and they're attached to the first Torx here, and then another bracket which is attached to the manifold using a Torx. I'm just using a small 2-inch extension here, and seems to have done the job here. So it's one of those Torx again. And difficult to get at. So this Torx here holds a little mounting bracket. It's the same Torx as the one at the very end. Same type of Torx. So we're going to disconnect the evap purge solenoid. Same thing with a screwdriver. This just slides off. Disconnect the intake temperature sensor, which is right in the middle of the intake, right there. Okay. Same thing, you lift it up with a little screwdriver. Then we have the throttle body, it's under there. Wires should come off, actually. It's kind of stuck in between the connector and the intake. So we're going to use again or Torx bit. There's another Torx screw right in the middle, right here. Take that one out. Difficult to get in with any kind of power tool, really. Or I could have used my pneumatic. Is one of these shorts, plastic. This comes out, and the cable harness comes out too. I'll take the sensor out. Take the harness out. Out too. And we need to get the throttle body out as well. All the wires are out of the way now. That's good. Now we have more screws down there. There's one Torx right here, one Torx right here. So same idea again. Still 230. All these screws tend to look the same so far, so that's good. Makes things easier when you put everything back together. This is actually attaching a bracket in there. It's underneath, and that's attached to the intake. I need to take it out. I'm gonna remove the fuel rail, which is right here. It's attached behind. If you follow this line here all the way there, you'll see there's a big 17 millimeter. So use one of these flat wrenches to get to it. Should be fairly easy to loosen up. Now again, fuel line, right, means that there could be some spilling. Make sure you use a rag or something to put under the fitting, because there could be some fuel coming out. Okay, fitting is loose. We're good on that end. Now we're gonna loosen up the intake hose that's right here. Add the throttle body, although actually, yeah, it will probably get in the way, so ideally you want to take it out. This one might be a little tricky to take out. I'm going to use a flat bit because there is a clamp with a flat head. Not my favorite, actually. I would probably can't recall what size of a bolt this is at the very end. I'll see if that does the job by any chance. Thanks to I have to take this one out. So it is attached to the throttle body, so it needs to come off. Okay, there we go. It's on its way. Alright, so you have to go underneath the car at that point. So we're struggling to remove the air intake. So I'm going to bring some light here. So that big rubber hose here that goes to the throttle body, that's under there. So I loosened that clamp, loosened that other clamp, but we need to take it out altogether. Okay, so there is a way to do it. Get under the cars this time. I'll try to show you because it's really not easy. So we find our mass airflow sensors right here. Okay, so we're gonna have to disconnect that. Shouldn't be too complicated. And then the intake line is held by a bracket that's right here. We can see it in the corner there. So right there, right in the hole, there's a bracket there, and that bracket is held to the transmission, looks like, with a triple square that you can't really see, but it's actually right behind there. It will be a little difficult for me to show you how to get this done, but you have to get to that nut, onto that screw there, take it out, and then there's actually another one that's further. Where is it? Yeah, there's another one right here. So see this the intake here. There's another bracket, another one right there. I can't really quite see. Oh yeah, there we go. It's, once again, it's a Torx, right? So it shouldn't be too complicated to remove. I'm gonna cut the video for now because it's difficult to do both. I'll resume once this is done. Okay, so we're back on top of the engine. Was able to take the intake or the intake air duct out. Right? So you got your connections or your clamps, right? You got the mass airflow sensor connector, and you got the two screws that are actually attached here, right? And these are both Torx 30 again. They're not triple square or anything, right? So there's more. There's a bracket that's actually holding the intake manifold in place. I'm yet to find it. Not sure where it is. I think it's from what I've seen, it needs to be removed from the underneath of the car. So I'm gonna continue working on this. I'm not too sure what else needs to be removed, but we do have the throttle body here, and I think there's the bracket is probably underneath in there. So we're just gonna keep going, and we're gonna have to take out the oil filter because there's some screws behind that we need to take to access to. And we can see the T30 screws right on the top here, holding the intake. One here, one there, one there. These are easy to access, and there are more on the underneath that we'll need to get to. So we're not just there yet, but we're getting closer. So let's keep going. All right, so we keep at it. Gonna take the fuel filter out. I bought one of these little brackets. This is oil filter B, right? B size cap wrench. Just put it on top. Keep a rag handy because it could go bad, and you could actually end up having oil. Obviously, in this case, the filter can be reused. once we take the filter out, we actually now can see better a few more things that we need to take out. Now on that side, let me show you. There is the intake flap position sensor that we'll need to disconnect. So again, put a little rag on top of your filter socket, right? There's the intake flap position sensor, which is right here. So this one has to be disconnected. There you go. So use the pointy tool, lift up the little tab at the bottom there on the very edge of the connector, and push down, and the connector will disconnect. So here we have a couple more things that we need to look into. So number one is, as you will see, so we have again a Torx here. We have also a 10 mil nut that needs to come off right there. Okay. And there is an equivalent on this side. So we do find a Torx again here, and there is a nut down here which you can't really quite see. I'll try to get closer. No, it's further down. It won't focus, but that's down there. Right. So it's the same nut as what we've got on the other side. So that has to come off as well. So let's work on those. Looking for my 10mm bit. It's an ongoing joke, obviously. Okay, got it. Best way to get to it is with an extension and get under there. There you go. With a long extension. At least for the left side. And once it's loosened up, it comes off very easy. I want to keep one of these little magnet tools handy, because otherwise the nut will find a way to get in there and you don't want to lose it. Go, captured it. We'll do the outside. Same idea. Okay, got it. There are these cables that are actually attached by a little hook or little piece of plastic that runs on top. That actually, it's I can't really describe it. You grab a pair of pliers, you push it in. Grab some pliers, squeeze the two sides of that little, I don't know what you call this, but basically it runs into the hole of that metal bracket and push it in. Once this is out of the way, take it out, along with the one that we run on top earlier. I'll just make a little bit of space here. Take these wires out. They will get in the way later. Stretch your foot up to disconnect this. There you go. So I will go back under the car and see whether I can see this this bracket. Okay, stay put. All right, so I was able to find this nut. So I'm gonna try to zoom in here in case you have to see it, because quite frankly, it's really hiding there. So you see that's your throttle body there. Let me turn on the light, see if that helps a little bit. And then a little further in, you'll find up there, hiding, it's really hard to see, there is in fact a nut. Yeah, right up there. There, right here. That's your nut on the left side here. And then, so to give you a sense of where it is, it's kind of right next to the throttle body. If I go back out, you'll see it right in the middle there. And it's kind of hiding because I don't have proper lighting here. Let me see if I can pull this a little bit. Yeah, there you go. It's a little bit better. You can see it better. So it's up there. Now there's a triple square that attaches that bracket, which is actually right here. And you can see it there. Now getting to it will be quite interesting, but that's the one right here. And this is actually holding the bracket for the actual intake manifold. All right, so it's gonna be interesting to get out. Again, cannot really film at the same time as I'm doing this. Actually, I'm wondering whether I showed you the right thing here. Let me try to get to it. Yeah, there we are. So, yeah, it is by that hose right here. Oh, it's right there. Oops. Let me zoom in a little further. There we are. That's the guy. Triple square M10, right? And once this comes out, then the bracket should come loose and you should be able to take that out. So let's see how that goes. Alright, quick update. I managed to get the bracket out. It was no easy feat. And it's held by this M10 triple square and the 13mm nut. Definitely not easy to take out. But now we can continue with the removal of the of all the different torques that are at the top, which should be the last step to get the actual manifold out. Okay, so let's continue with that. So we got a number of them actually to take out. Some of those might be tricky. And to get the triple square underneath to take it out, actually I had to move some cooling hoses out of the way, so you might actually have to do that too. It's doable, but it took me about an hour to do it, so definitely not something easy. Alright, so let's look at some of the torques that we still have. They're holding our dear manifold. Probably would have been a good idea to spray some WD-40 on this prior. So far so good. These are easy to access. And these are long ones, the long triple torques. Bolts. So let's take a look here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll take one out so that you get a sense of how long these things are. The straight long screws, right? No washer. It's not having a hard time focusing. There we go. Oop. All right, let's keep going. So that's one. Let's continue. We'll see. I'll do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. All right, so continuing. I'm going to try to show you where the screws are. There's one that I actually have my bit right here, down there. That's one of them. Okay. Oh, there you can see it now. My bit is right on it. Now there is another one here. It's hard to light and show at the same time, but I'm pretty certain you can see it. It's right here. Okay, and there is might be another one on that side, but I don't believe so. So we're gonna go ahead and remove those. Okay, so we removed them all. You should have 7 in total, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the top, 2 at the bottom. So now it's kind of a moment of truth. The unit should be loose and should come out. That's assuming I didn't forget anything. Remember, your injectors are also still connected, so might take a little bit of effort to pull it out. It's definitely loose, so the fact that it's loose seems to indicate that we removed everything. So let's take a look. Okay, so double checked, everything is good. There's nothing attached anymore, so that should come out. So I'm gonna pull a little bit on one side and on the other, and hopefully you can see it's coming out. Okay, well, the air intake collector is actually removed. We now have a good view to what's happening, and it's really not well, it's not super pretty, right? It's really not clean. I have to double check that the obviously you see some valves are actually open here, so I have to make sure that the engine is in the dead center position. It's not the case at the moment, and yeah, there's definitely some cleaning to do. So that will be the next phase. One thing is that I damaged one of these little red nipples. So right here. That's because it came at an angle. If you remember, when I pulled it out at some point, it kind of loosened up, and it was at an angle that actually put too much stress on these little nipples. Probably not a huge deal, but it's just too bad, right? And these little plates actually do come out, right? So normally you would use a pair of pliers, pull them out. They might come out on their own, as you can tell. It's very, very dirty, right? So they'll need to be completely cleaned up. They're also very oily. There's a lot of soot on there. And then we have the units here. Just gonna grab my rag here. We have the unit itself, which will also probably need some attention. So we got the throttle body that gave us some hard time earlier. Different connectors and the harnesses that they're color coded and they're easy to recognize. But you see, there's lots of connectors on the underneath, and I have one injector that actually remained in the engine that I need to take out. But they're also very, if you look at them, the tip is very black, right? I can't quite focus on this. There we go. Tip is black. So they will need to be cleaned up as well. And I will need to look at, I have a new gasket actually here that I bought just in case. But I will definitely need to look at this area here, because that was surprisingly loose here. See how that comes out like that? That is not normal. In fact, I just realized that it's probably not broken, but it shouldn't come out like that, right? So there's a sensor on that end too, which is the flap open sensor, I believe, the flap opening sensor. which I actually didn't have to disconnect really. But I'm gonna have to do a thorough investigation of that unit and make sure it's working the way it should, because it's taken out now, right? So for now, it's gonna be cleaning up the area a little bit, using the vacuum cleaner. You don't want to use your blower at this point, because that could actually blow all sorts of debris into the valve chamber, and that's really not suggested. I'm gonna take out the little flaps here, clean them up completely, and yeah, we'll take it from there.